channel. Welcome to a new video. Really out of breath, just ran up the stairs. Before we get into this video, so I'm sort of trying to hold my food. If you can, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and please subscribe. And follow my social medias in the description. That will be great. The day you are seeing this is the day before my birthday, so would love if you could subscribe to join that. And without further ado, let's just get on with the video. So I decided for this video to do a mukbang because I haven't done one in about a year, over a year now. Sorry, you're going to have to take a lesson of this. The most annoying thing about this was I was checking the app for ages, and absolutely ages, and was literally checking it because it was taking for a while. It was like 15 minutes late. There was nothing, and no announced to me that it was on its way, so I went on the chat on Just Eat, and when I was in the chat and it went through to someone knocked at the door. But it's alright, we're here. So I ordered a Big Tasty because I've never had one before. I don't really see the difference between that and the normal burgers, but okay, because these are katsu nuggets in a double Big Mac box because that's what is normal. Some chips and the Big Tasty. So I've had the katsu nuggets before, so this is not a first try of these. And I've never, like I said, never had it, but I did have the tomato and lettuce taken out because I don't like them. I'm going to eat chips first because they're cold. First of all, before I get into what I'm going to talk about, if you don't like to see people eat whilst talking, probably not the right video for you. I also ordered an orange juice because I was going to get a milkshake, but last time I had a milkshake I felt really sick afterwards, and I don't want to feel sick because I have Laing concert after this. So, but anyway, we're back in my uni room for this video. Feels weird to be sitting in my uni room filming an actual video, but we're here. My birthday is tomorrow, and we are in lockdown. Not tomorrow for me, tomorrow for you guys. It's actually in a few days' time. But it's absolutely great. So my plan is I'm going to go for a walk with a friend at 1. To see her because I haven't seen her for a long time. Since before, and the last time I actually saw her in person was just before the second lockdown. So it's been quite a while. And I'm having drinks and games with my housemates in the evening, which I'm really excited for. I'm really excited for it, even though it's not how I usually would plan to do my birthday. But I knew that I was either going to be in tier 4, which basically meant lockdown, or we were going to be in lockdown for my birthday anyway. Or if we were in tier 2, it wouldn't be the same, and I kind of just knew that this birthday was going to be a different one. But it's okay. It is what it is. But I thought I was going to just talk about how I'm feeling about this lockdown, and then I'm going to do a section where I talk about my top 15 top 15 TV shows and films that I've loved in 2020. So I'll start with how I'm feeling about this lockdown because obviously it's not ideal considering my birthday is in 3 days, or under 3 days now for me. But it is unfortunately what it is, and in some ways I think it's needed, and I think if we can get through the next few months of lockdown, 2021 should end up becoming a better year. I would rather take 3 months out of my year to have the rest of the year better than have things kind of go back to normal now and then have the rest of the year being basically crap with me in and out of a lockdown, because it's still going around. And obviously people's health is more important than having a night out for your birthday or being able to hang out with your friends, as much as I would love to spend time with my friends. Also, if I keep doing this, it's like a force of habit. When I go out for food with my friends, that's what I always do. So I'm really sorry. because it probably muffles my voice. I'm trying to eat the chips because they're the worst when they're cold. But I remember sitting in my room. So the day, no, actually that's a lie. The day the lockdown was announced was Monday, and I remember being in bed most of the day feeling anxious about the announcement. And then my brain went, it's probably going to be a national lockdown, and it's not going to be like the last November one where they gave you 3 days to prepare. It was going to go straight into it. Now, my brain first went, the reason I was getting worried is that I needed to come back here. I've been more productive in the 3 days I've been back here than I was in the month I was at home. So I already know that being at home was not a bad decision, because I was going home for Christmas, I always do, and I wasn't missing being at home with my parents for Christmas. And then obviously my nan passed away, so I had to be at home. I couldn't just go, I'm not coming home. It was just that I needed to come back, otherwise I was probably going to fail my masters. And I'm so grateful I did come back, because like I said, I'd be more productive, but I was really worried of how I would come back, because I didn't really want to have to go by public transport, because you don't know who's touched what, and you don't know what's been cleaned and what hasn't, and it's a bit risky. But I wasn't sure if my auntie was going to be able to take me, because technically she shouldn't have, because of the rules, but my parents don't drive, so I had no other way of getting back, so I was really grateful she offered to take me back. I would have come back on Tuesday when it technically wasn't a law, because they said that people should start following the rules by Tuesday, but it will go into law on Wednesday. My nan's funeral was on Tuesday, and I couldn't just skip my nan's funeral. That would just be wrong. I would not even in my life think about missing it. Like, my nan was I was really close with my nan, and I loved her, and I wouldn't miss her funeral for coming back here. And I could have asked to come back late at night, but also that's risky, because people will be like, why are you doing that? Because that's where more police are on the roads than they are during the day. Because people try to work their way around at night, I guess. I don't really know. And also, I didn't really want to just leave the night before. I had a really bad headache. I was feeling really emotional, and it would have just been the worst time to come back. So luckily I managed to come back Wednesday, but now that I'm back, the lockdown doesn't really affect me in a bad way. Like, so the first lockdown, when it first happened, I was a bit like, oh wow, my life is changing completely, considering I was so used to being active and busy, like on a nights out and show choir and every other event that I have going on. Now luckily, when my show choir masters happened, the day of the competition, COVID was a big thing. Cambridge had told the students they all had to move out by the Monday after the day after the competition, so Cambridge couldn't perform because of COVID, and there was all risks about COVID, and then it was all a bit of a nightmare. Luckily we were still able to go ahead of the competition the week before lockdown came into place. But after that, it was, I wouldn't say terrible, but I remember going home the day after lockdown was announced and was like, what the hell do I do now? I can't meet up with anyone. I can't do anything. But what else could I have done? So at that point I was a bit shocked, I don't know what the word is, but lost. And then I got kind of used to it, and I actually didn't mind being in a lockdown. I was like, you know what, it was the best thing for my mental health. So this lockdown isn't really affecting me in the point where I'm sad, because I'm kind of used to the idea that I can't meet my friends. But it's just, the thing that annoys me is how, one, Boris has not addressed the uni students, but we will not talk about that in this video because I'll get annoyed. But it's more the fact that Boris gets told these things by other people weeks in advance what he should do, and he chooses to do something completely different, like the tier system, when he could have just put us all in a national lockdown. What I was saying is he was putting one lot of people in one tier, another lot of people in a different tier, and another lot of people in a different tier. And I'm like, well, that's not really going to make any difference then, is it? Because one area will be better, the other area won't be. When that one area gets better and the other area gets worse, people are going to start coming down here and it's going to get shit up again. So it makes no sense why you do it. Why don't you just put us all in a national lockdown? Everything will get better eventually. But, and that's the thing that's annoying. I think the reason I'm more anxious is not because we're going into a lockdown, because I'm not that bothered. I find entertainment in my own self. I've got loads of uni work to do, and the less distractions I have, the better. But the thing is that it's the wait around for him to keep changing things. My brain does not work when things get changed like that. And this, in the last year, I should be realising that anything can change like that. But it's the way it is. Like and then he makes you wait till hours later when he could have just done it at 3 p.m. I don't think telling people 5 hours later than the time you said makes a difference. Like, they'll hear it after work if they're still at work. It's a bit ridiculous. Oh my god. This curry, I forgot how, I've only had the katsu curry chicken McNuggets like once. They're a little spicy. And I forgot. But they're nice. I'll take that though, they're really nice. And I feel like they definitely, oh no. I'm only hoovering my room today. They definitely taste better than normal chicken nuggets, even though I love normal chicken nuggets. I was torn between these and the normal chicken nuggets because I always crave them, but we went with the katsu ones because you never know when they're going to get taken off. But with this whole lockdown situation, I mean, it sucks how long it's going on for, because obviously I would rather not, because usually for my birthday I'd be at home with my parents, do that, get all my gifts. That's one of the reasons I stay, so everyone who gives me presents from my home, I just have them all for my birthday, so I don't have to wait for whenever I come home. This year's a bit different. I was meant to stay in until yesterday, so till Friday, and then leave on the Friday to come back, so my aunties were leaving my presents all, and I had to tell them, sorry, but I'm not going to be home now, I'm coming on Wednesday. Just go, sorry. I mean, it is what it is, but I'm just happy I got back. Lockdown isn't the end of the world. Like, I think people need to remember that lockdowns really do suck, and they do suck for mental health as well, I understand 100%. But in the long run, hopefully, if this works out, this could be the last lockdown we have. And the last lockdown we might have to live through, hopefully. Now, I'm not saying my prediction is right, but I would hope that if he was to open things up again in April, say, that he would think it's safe to it and that he won't have to put us in lockdown again. Because no one is really the government are not focusing on the battle of mental health. They're focusing on the battle of coronavirus, yes, but they're not thinking about the mental health side of it at all. Like, mental health is a big thing, and it's been advertised around the world so long, but no one seems to talk about it in the government. So I was going to get sweet curry sauce, but I've never had it before, and I was scared I was not going to like it, so I got sweet and sour sauce instead. It's my go-to. Okay. We're going to stop talking about lockdowns now, because I'm telling you, it's not much fun. I have written in my notebook, so I'll put it on my desk. I'm going to move that. I have 15 films and TV shows, so they're a mixture of that I loved and watched in 2020. Some of these might have been out for a while. I think a couple of them have been, but I just didn't start watching it until 2020, when it gave me more time to sit and watch TV. Also, I'm not really going to eat these chips because they're freaking cold, and not 100% a fan of cold chips. So the first thing I watched, well, not the first thing I watched in 2020, but the first thing that's on the list is The Prom. Came out, I think, in December. And as soon as it came out, I watched it because it was done by Ryan Murphy. James Corden was in it. Meryl Streep is in it, and I love Meryl Streep, like, hands down. And I'll tell you something, I know it's controversial and a lot of people didn't like it, and a lot of people didn't like the way James Corden acted because he's not gay and, you know, he had to play a gay man. I don't know the full story of it because I try to stay out of those stuff because I'm just like, I don't want to get involved. But I know a lot of people did, but I really liked the prom. I found it really moving. I found it really cringy at times. I could definitely say it was cringy. And I love musicals, but the amount of times they broke into song kind of made me feel a bit like, what the hell is going on? Like, why are you breaking into song every 2 seconds? But I did love the story behind it, like how it was kind of based on the fact that a lesbian couple wouldn't be accepted. So why are we doing a lesbian prom? But like, and at the end it did make me cry, and if a film can make me cry, it usually has the meaning it's a kind of a good film to me. But I genuinely did love the prom, even though it has mixed reviews. My next one is Normal People. So I watched this when, as soon as I finished my degree, it was probably like the Thursday and Friday of that week when I finished my undergrad, and I didn't know what to do, didn't know what to watch, so I put it on. It was only like 12 episodes, so I watched 6 episodes one day, 6 episodes the next day. Oh, I can't get it down. And I just found it really, really good. Like, I really loved it. Don't know what it was about the story because I thought I was gonna like hate it. I got told by my friend it's a sex story. I was really confused at first. I thought, oh no, it's gonna be like, and then it really wasn't, but I loved the story anyway. I was just like, it's such a really good story, and definitely recommend it. It's on BBC iPlayer. I really want them to do another season. Hopefully they will. But it was just interesting, an interesting story to watch. My next one is Sex Education. So I know it's been out for a while. At least the first season was out for a while, but I really probably watched it probably at the beginning of lockdown when I got my Fire Stick. Don't know why I hadn't watched it before, but just hadn't really got into it before. Just due to the fact that like I just didn't. To be fair, I did not watch much Netflix before lockdown. I was used to it and it was always out, so I didn't watch it. So when I watched it, I absolutely fell in love with it. Both season 1 and 2. I am buzzing for season 3 to come out in like on the 17th, so in a week's time. Oh my god. Sauce has leaked. I feel like this is going to be messy to eat, but apart from this being probably hardest thing to eat and quite messy, tastes good. I like the fact that it's not like normal burger patties and the small ones. It's quite good. Considering I haven't actually eaten today, really, this is worth it. Anyway, my next one that I actually started watching from season 1 on was in lockdown. I got through it very quickly. Was Schitt's Creek. Funniest thing I've ever watched. Literally, absolutely love it. That family in it, like everyone makes it such a great show. I really love David. Like David was probably my favourite character in Schitt's Creek. Just super funny. Always makes me smile. And just a heartwarming story, to be fair. If you're ever bored and you think you need something to make you laugh, Schitt's Creek is the one. I watched it like probably May, June time. I was not sure, but I was looking for something else to watch. I was bored, put it on, fell in love with it, and I definitely recommend it. Next one is Sherlock season 4. That had been out actually for quite a while because my dad had watched it, but I just hadn't. And I just watched it in lockdown because I was like, what else can I watch? It was intense, I'll tell you something, and like my heart broke in it, but I loved it so much. Benedict Cumberbatch is just my favourite person, my favourite Sherlock. I don't like the other Sherlocks, apart from the film with Robert Downey Jr. Cold, but it's alright. Next one is Julie and the Phantoms. I think I watched that in November. I'm pretty sure it's in the November lockdown, but can't remember. And I fell in love with it. Like, 9 episodes was not enough, and I needed season 2, like, now. Such a good show, moving, the music in it is great. Charlie Gillespie does something to me, and I don't know what, because he's freaking gorgeous. Pretty sure he's younger than me though, which is the annoying part, because like him and Hero Tiffin something whatever are younger than me, but they're both I'm pretty sure, and I'm obsessed. Just saying, just obsessed. And also the person who plays Alex Owen, he's a cutie. Love him. My next one is another controversial one, and a lot of people I didn't like this season especially, but also didn't like the whole show. But it's 13 Reasons Why season 4. I'm not going to talk too much about it because I know this triggers a lot of people, and I don't want to like trigger people, but I did like the season 4, found it really moving, and I just loved it. A good way to wrap it up. My next one is, and I only started watching stand-up comedy last year, pretty much, and this was the first one I watched, well, these are the first 2 I watched, and it's the Jack Whitehall Only Joking and Jack Whitehall at Large show. I put them both as one because it's just easier, and it gave me more time to talk about other ones. It was so good. But I just found it really funny, really enjoyable. I've watched them about 4 times, each of them 4 times in 2020. I just don't get bored of it. It just makes me laugh every single time. So whenever I'm feeling like really down, I put it on because it just lifts my mood. Or when I'm feeling anxious, I put it on. It just lifts my mood. And I definitely think some stand-up comedy is better than I thought. And I think Jack Whitehall is a really good one to watch if you're looking for a stand-up comedian to watch. That's kind of relatable, kind of like, it's a bit idiotic, but it's funny. It's Jack Whitehall. Watch it. Definitely recommend it. My next one is Holiday. I'm kind of not eating right now because I've got 5 minutes left before this one's out, and I don't really want to, have to start it again, and also eating takes time. Holiday was a film I watched back in November. Definitely was in November. It was in the November lockdown. It was at the beginning of the November lockdown, and I found it so funny. I absolutely loved it. Definitely recommend it. It was such a good film. So funny, like I said. And I love Emma Roberts. She's one of my favourite actresses. And I know some people have issues with her, but I really like her. And I don't know what the issues are. So before people are putting a comment saying what were the issues, I don't actually know. And I don't really want to Google, but I do really like her. I do really like her. I loved her since Wild Child. And Holiday was one of my favourites. Favourite films, didn't feel that it was, I think it was recommended for Christmas because it starts as a Christmas part of the film, starts as a Christmas, but I don't think you need to watch it at Christmas to watch it. It's definitely one you can watch at any time of the year. Sorry, is it raining? My next one is Umbrella Academy Season 2. This was a season, so Season 1 I absolutely loved, adored, loved it, perfect. And Elliot Page, I have to remember that changed names, changed her mail, was like always my favourite from Juno onwards, and oh my god, Elliot and everyone was amazing in Umbrella Academy Season 2. I loved Season 2 so much. I didn't know how they were going to do it. I was confused how they were going to do it at times. And just thought, is this going to work out? But it did, and I'm really grateful that it did because it was such a good season, and I loved it, and I just need a 3rd season now. Like, it was just very fun to watch, and definitely something that just, like, I had to think about, I had to actually use my brain whilst watching, but I actually really enjoyed. And when it came out, it was the time I moved into this house, so I started watching it with Josh and Kyle, and then I watched the rest when I was back home, when I went back home to visit. My next one is Ariana Grande, Excuse Me, I Love You. Now, I know people thought it was a documentary, and I was getting excited for that, but it wasn't. I do like documentary films that artists do, which comes into the next one, because I like seeing the behind the scenes of things and hearing their story and stuff, and not just seeing them on stage. But I haven't never seen Ariana Grande live. Been wanting to see her live for years, and I know how expensive tickets are. I haven't gone to see her, and one day I aim to. I really do aim to, even if I go on my own. So I got to basically watch her live on Netflix. It's not the same, but it was still something, and I loved it. Her voice is incredible, and I just want it. My next one on the list is Shawn Mendes in Wonder. This is what brought me on. I love the documentary side of it. Loved hearing his story. Loved hearing him talk about Camilla. I think it was just such a cute relationship. I just loved hearing his story and watching him get where he is. Loved hearing him about his anxiety and just everything. I think it was just... I loved it so much. Need to watch his concert one now because I love him and want to see him live as well. Want Niall Horan to do a documentary, but I doubt he will. But I want him to, just saying. My next one is Hamilton. I know this is a West End and Broadway musical, but this was put on Disney Plus in July. And I tell you something, I fell in love with it as soon... Sorry, I'm going to have another bite. As soon as I watched it in one night, fell in love, then I watched it again the next day because I was obsessed. Just obsessed. I couldn't fault anything in it. I absolutely loved it. It's been on my list of things to watch for many years, and I knew I wouldn't be able to see it on stage because it's so expensive. Or at the moment I haven't been able to, but it's still on my list to watch on West End, or if I'm going to go to New York if I can, Broadway. But still, watching on Disney Plus was as good. Next one was a Christmas film, Noel. Fell in love with that film at Christmas. Watched it once and then watched it on Christmas Eve. Absolutely fell in love with it. I didn't think I was going to like it, but I just watched it because Anna Kendrick was in it. But I felt it was such a heartwarming Christmas film, and I absolutely loved it. And now finally, because time is running out, sorry, the final one is Soul, which came out again near the end of 2020. It came out in December, and I watched it just before the end of 2020. But I want to watch it again, and I'm very much considering watching it again tomorrow or some point soon, because I just love the story behind it and love the meaning behind it as well, and can't help but love it. But anyway, that is enough of that, and that is the end of this video. I'm going to enjoy my burger now. I'm going to end this video here. If you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up, please comment down below, please subscribe, and I will see you again with another video on Thursday, as this is just an extra upload. Thank you for watching. I love you guys.